Hey guys, so today we are going to be talking about Golden Week 2024. There's a good chance that we get a hint very soon about what the potential theme of it could be, so I want to get ahead and get out a little bit in front of it to make sure that we all are kind of on the same page about what we could potentially be seeing. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys think Golden Week is going to be. I'm going to be offering up 4 kind of categories that I think could potentially be seeing it, or episodes if you will. Had to make sure we hid the tabs so y'all couldn't see what it would be before we got started, but I think this Golden Week tends to have a lot of potential, right? And I feel like we say that every year, but the last couple of years we have seen similar themes with it being like a tournament, right? With 2022 we saw the Cell Games, and then in 2023 we saw the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. So that is pretty cool, and this year there are going to be a couple tournaments that we do mention, and then a couple, one non-tournament that we would be mentioning, right? So the first one that I want to talk about, and this is probably going to be the thumbnail of the video, is going to be the Planet Namek Saga, more specifically Goku versus Frieza. Now, what do you notice about Namek Frieza, right? What is the representation for him within the game? You see full power Frieza, you see, what else do we have down here? Third form Frieza. This is the TUR for the full power Frieza, a free-to-play final form Frieza, a free-to-play second form Frieza, a banner unit AGL final form Frieza, a banner unit STR final form Frieza, more first form Friezas, more full power Friezas. What is the kind of big form of Frieza that is missing in terms of like a DOKKANFEST, an LR, something like that, right? It should be pretty obvious that final form Frieza is who I'm talking about, right? Because final form Frieza from Namek, I think, is severely underrepresented with it throughout the game. And it kind of has been throughout, like, all of time with Dokkan, right? Like, when was the last time we had, like, a final form Frieza that was, like, insane? And we're excluding full power here, right? I think, like, Angel Golden Frieza was pretty good from the Tournament of Power, but obviously that was not from Namek. So we have to keep that in mind as we are talking about it. But I think a final form Frieza from Namek would be really good to have for a part of Golden Week. And then I think his counterpart would just be, like, maybe a base Goku that goes Super Saiyan, or just a standalone Super Saiyan Goku, right? At least that part of this fight has representation, right? And it's like, with the Namek Saga, they could probably do like the Goku versus Frieza fight, and we could literally have like a year's worth of releases just from that fight in terms of all the stuff they could pull from, right? Like, that is a long fight that has a lot of potential for it, right? And then it's like, maybe with banner units, we get some type of like Gohan and Piccolo, or maybe just a standalone Piccolo, or maybe part 2 even would be like an LR Piccolo that fuses with Nail and fights second form Frieza. Maybe that could be something that they go along, and that would be a very good linking partner for somebody like, Power Awakened Piccolo from the superhero team. But the problem with that is that these guys would not fit on superhero, right? The only way that would work is if, this Goku would fit on Beast Gohan's leader skill to slide him onto that team. And I don't want to make this video all about, oh, well, what about Beast's leader skill? But it is at least worth mentioning, right? I think a Frieza could be something really good for the extreme class side of things, because we need representation more for extreme units. I think later on in the week, we're going to be doing a video talking about the biggest problem in Dokkan, and I think that's the treatment of extreme units. So, Planet Namek Saga, this is going to be my first potential theme, and more specifically, Super Saiyan Goku versus Final Form Frieza, not full power. So, going into the second part of this, we have the Tournament of Power. Now, the Tournament of Power, I think my headliners would be Goku versus Jiren. I think, especially with Toppo just getting a buff, let's let Toppo enjoy his prime, and not kind of resort him to just being on like a team that doesn't get a ton of buffs, right? Like, let's give Toppo the love that he deserves, and make sure that he also gets the help, because these TURs, this tends to happen, right? Where we'll get like some cracked out TUR, and then they just don't see many buffs throughout the year, right? And it's kind of unfortunate, and I could kind of see this being the case for Toppo, right? Because if we briefly pull up Toppo right here, and we can kind of quickly look at him, right? We look at his teams. Like, transformation boost will work, but again, it's right here. Like, if you want him to be at his best, we need this right here, right? Like, we need to make sure that we're getting units in the game that have these categories, and I believe that, is Jiren on Ally? He's definitely on Ally of Justice, right? This is Defenders of Justice on Global. Jiren has to be on here, right? Yeah, he would be. Okay, so that would help if we got another Jiren, because he would be on Defenders of Justice, right? And that would, that could potentially lead to something good. I think personally that would be a really good choice of Goku versus Jiren. It's been a while since we've gotten, aside if we're just excluding Easy A's, it's been a while since we've gotten some form of UI Goku. And even if it ends up being like some form of Goku that has like it's like a Kaioken Blue Goku or a Super Saiyan Super Saiyan Goku that revives into Ultra Instinct Goku, kind of like what they did in Legends. I think I'd be okay with that. I also think it would be a very good choice. We still have a couple easy A's left that we could bang out. Maybe we go early and we do God Goku and Hit for an easy A, or we look at some of the Part 2 6-year LRs. We could potentially see them getting their easy A. That would be very helpful. And then maybe these guys would be able to fit easily on the Android 17 and 18 team from the Tournament of Power. Potentially Kale getting a buff of sorts. Just a lot of units that could benefit from this. And like we already know this Tobo right here is getting his easy A. So like we're already off to a good start with like how Universe 11 is becoming better. And then if we were to potentially get like a Jiren to slide in there, I think that would be a very good choice. So I think for my second choice here, I have the Universe Survival Saga, and then the headliners being Goku and Jiren. Now, let's move on to the next one, and that is the Universe 6 tournament. Now, I only have Universe 6 pulled up right here, but right away, it would be Kaioken Blue Goku versus Hit. Now, I think that would be a very good choice because this is fitting along the theme of the last couple years of Golden Week, and that is the tournaments, right? And honestly, I thought of one more, and we'll include that at the end of the video. But what we have right here is a Universe 6 team with a lot of easy A's, and a lot of them are not on the JP database right now. But these three right here, where my mouse is at, these three all have their easy A's. And then we have the 60% supports right here for Kaba and Hit. That helps out a lot, and then Hit would be able to slide on this team, and it would work like, it would be clockwork, right? Like, it would be just, the flow would be there, the synergy would be there, it would work out perfectly, right? But maybe we see, like, some buff for, like, a Hit, it would be, like, Space Traveling Warriors gets a buff and stuff like that, and we could potentially be seeing a lot of things in that regard. And then maybe for Part 2, the LR for Part 2 would be a little bit tricky. Maybe like a transforming Kaba or a Vegeta that transforms in his fight against Kaba, you know, with the where he tells Kaba to remember this pain and then he goes blue and stuff like that. And I think that could potentially be like a cool LR that would help out tech the Saiyan Day Vegeta. That would be a good buff for him. I think that would help out a decent bit. But just looking at this team right here, it's a little bit barren, but at least a lot of these easy A's are coming out. And then that way, if we did kind of just slide, you know, who is it? We just slid a new DOKKANFEST hit on this team. I think it would work out really well. And then it would kind of be like the same thing with Universal Survival Saga if we got like if we just use, where's this guy? This guy would be like our frame of reference, right? Like this Kaioken Blue Goku. If we got a different version of him, maybe like a Blue Goku that goes into Kaioken, that would help out. That would be a superhero buff right there. That would be Goku family buff, Kamehameha, all that fun stuff, and transformation boost. But these guys would kind of work well against each other. And they would also be on the tournament participants team, which would be good as well. But easy Ace for this one would be a little bit trickier because we've kind of already gotten a lot of these. Like, if they really wanted to go early on a release, like Kale and Caulifla maybe, that would be like a crazy early easy A. I don't think they would do that. But it's like a lot of the Universe 6 team has already been easy A'd, and it would be, I think it would be kind of tricky to figure out what easy A's for Universe 6 would be. Maybe they just would go to somewhere and they would dig into the well of like Tournament of Power, like we looked at earlier. And it could potentially be like Goku and Hit, or these three would be like prime easy A's if they did that in that specific, these two specific themes, right? I think that would be kind of where we're at with that. But I think it's tough to say, right? Honestly, Goku versus Hit wouldn't be my first choice, but I do see some potential in potentially looking at that theme. So last one for this before we move on to the, let's do this one first. I think the next one would be interesting if we can find the category here. It would be this one right here from Otherworld Warriors. I think a Super Kaioken versus Pikkon would be a very cool kind of headliner for Golden Week, right? I think that this is a fight that like doesn't really like. I'm not gonna say it like deserves a ton of respect, but I would say for like a dual DOKKANFEST, it could work out a little bit well. In terms of how it could work, but I feel like it would be way too favored towards Goku, and not that many people would be excited to summon for Pikkon, right? And the counterplay to this is like, are they really going to be doing two DOKKANFEST Pikkons before like Final Form Frieza has a DOKKANFEST, right? From Namek. That's where it gets a little bit tricky, but like I could potentially see that, and then maybe we easy A like Angel Vegeta, or hell, even maybe something crazy like AGL Pikkon, or this in Super Saiyan 2 Goku gets an easy A. I think the Otherworld Warriors team is not like a team I really care about getting buffs, because even if like they could overhaul the whole thing and it's still not going to be like a real category. But I think just like this, the only reason I'm saying this one is because it fits within the tournament theme. So Goku versus Pikkon, I could potentially see from the Otherworld tournament. Let's not dwell on that one too much. Let's go to the last one. This one's kind of a meme at this point, but Kid Goku versus Demon King Piccolo, right? One of the quintessential Dragon Ball fights. I know a lot of people are suckers for this fight, and I think that it's time, right? we need an update for this Kid Goku. Not this one right here. This is a completely different version of Kid Goku. 23rd World Tournament Goku is a whole different thing. We need this version of Goku getting another Dokkan Fest. I think it's that time. I don't think this is a fight that needs to headline an anniversary, but I do think Golden Week is a perfect slot for them because of the kind of, it coincides with last year's theme. Obviously going back in time a little bit. This would be like buffs for Bulma and stuff like that, and there are potentially some easy A's, maybe not in this specific like realm right here, like maybe like free to play this version of Piccolo, but like that's going to be from the World Tournament, so it is a little bit different. But like when it comes to summonable easy A's, you don't have a lot of options, right? You kind of got to dig deep. I'm not seeing anything that jumps off the page here. It's like, oh yeah, this is like an easy A that can carry a celebration, right? We'd probably have to do something else. Honestly, I have no idea who could easy A if they did Dragon Ball. Like, just looking at this right here, what if we went to the World Tournament category and we looked at that, right? Because that would probably be what they have to do. They'd have to dig into the World Tournament category to get an easy A. I just want to pull this up as I'm talking to you here. But where is World Tournament? Am I tripping? I am tripping. World Tournament, World Tournament. Can we do this? Yeah, there we go, there we go. Okay, sorry. Like, if we want to look at easy Ace from here, I mean, even then, the well is not, I didn't exactly expand it very much, right? Maybe, like, Videl gets an easy A? I know that doesn't make a ton of sense, but, like, the easy A's for this one, man, I don't know. Okay, well, easy A's, this is just the theme. Maybe if we wanted to design a custom celebration later, we could. So, Golden Week 2024, here are my predictions, I think, or some of the potential options I see. I think Demon King Piccolo versus Kid Goku. I think we could get Super Kaioken versus Pikkon. I think we could get Goku versus Frieza. UI Goku versus Jiren. And then also for the last one, we have Kaioken Blue Goku versus Hit. So let me know down below what you guys thought of this specific predictions list. What do you guys think Golden Week is going to be? Let me know all that fun stuff down below. Leave a like if you did enjoy today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the content. And consider becoming a channel member to further support me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.